Pleasure and a privilege to welcome back to the program Senator John McCain. Senator, good morning.
Thank you, Paul W. You and I have been talking for years off and on, and it's great to be back. And I'd like to mention yesterday morning I was scheduled to be on, and because it was just after anyway, it was a scheduling foul up, and it's my fault, and I apologize.
No, you know what? We were upset because we didn't find out until, like a minute after you were supposed to be on, but we also understand how hectic things are, and that you probably didn't even know very much about all of that, because I got to tell you something. You have to feel kind of exhausted. This schedule is mind-boggling for anybody.
Yeah, but on the other hand, Paul W., that it's so it's such an incredible experience when you walk into a place like I did yesterday afternoon, and it's packed with people. They've been waiting for a long time to see you, and they applaud, and then you get them later. They ask questions and comments, and you see people involved in the process. And the town hall meeting, it actually does things for me that I don't get tired, because it's so exhilarating.
Yeah, I know you don't want to sound like a West Coaster or anything, but you do feed off the energy of the people. You can feel the energy, and it clearly revitalizes anyone. Especially, I could see it in you. It's like a shot of adrenaline. And you just you rise to the occasion no matter how tired you are. Quickly, from last night's debate in South Carolina, I'll ask you in a moment how you feel you did, but I have to go right to this point where Mitt Romney kind of went after you right away, saying, without naming you, but we all knew who he was talking about you, some people have said that some jobs are never coming back to Michigan. I disagree with that. I'm going to fight for every single job in Michigan, and in South Carolina for that matter. And your comeback was...
Yeah, well, as for those who didn't watch, one of the moderators then said, Senator McCain, how do you respond to that? And I said, look, I won in New Hampshire because I told people the truth. I told them what they wanted to hear. Sometimes I told them what they didn't want to hear, but they could rely on me to tell them the absolute truth. And the truth is that some of these jobs are not coming back to Michigan, nor are they coming back to South Carolina, which, as you know, had a huge flight of jobs in the textile mill and business. So, but my point is, and I've been saying this in Michigan for a long time, look, we can create jobs. The smartest brains in the world are in Detroit, Michigan. We can develop new cars and hybrids and composite materials and hybrids and we can invest in that. And the other part of the equation, Paul, is that we need to do the education and training programs that work and go to the community colleges. The community colleges is where they can provide the education and training and put people back into the workforce and give them another chance. They deserve another chance.
We have so little time, Senator. I don't know if you know it, but we've been sworn to get you out on time because you're kind enough. When you come with me, they said that you'll keep talking. You'll talk with me all day. I'm not going to be able to allow you to do that. So very quickly, when you said there are some jobs that won't come back to Michigan, that won't come back to South Carolina, tell me what you mean when you then said, but we're going to take care of them because that's our job, that's our obligation. Just briefly, what do you mean?
Education and training programs so they can meet the local job needs, so that we can create those jobs for them, and they're eligible to be in it. There's no reason why someone at any age should be taken completely out of the workforce. You give them, you go to the community colleges, they design the education and training programs for the local needs and the ways which we can provide those jobs. We provide the help for the technologies that will which will revitalize the automotive industry and other industries throughout the state of Michigan.
Right.
We've got to do it.
How do you feel you did last night in the debate?
Well, Paul, it'd be very unusual if I told you I thought I did terrible. I thought I did fine.
You're always, the beauty of you, Senator, is that you always are you have common sense, you're logical with your approach, you're warm, and you're likable. I must tell you, I was surprised when the Detroit News picked you as their candidate, because we kind of all thought they would pick the hometown boy, Mitt Romney. Mm-hmm. But the reality is, though Mitt Romney seems to be a brilliant and certainly is a successful businessman and could have all of the things that we need to be a great president, if you don't appear to be approachable or as really human as, say, for example, you do, Senator McCain, it's going to be trouble for you running for president. I think of our friend, poor Dick DeVos, who ran for governor, would have been a great governor, but he couldn't connect the way Governor Jennifer Granholm can. And at this moment, it doesn't appear that Mitt Romney is connecting the way, for example, you, Senator John McCain, are.
Well, I've had some experience at it, but I think the other thing is that you got to really make sure. I had a town hall meeting yesterday, and 3 or 4 questions, people stood up, and I said, "I'm sorry, but I'm not going to tell you what you want to hear." People are so cynical, and understandably, about what we do in Washington, about politics.
We've lost faith in our government, Senator.
Yes, sir. All trust and confidence, and it's got to be restored. And the first way you do it, as you know, is to cut the pork barrel corruptive spending practices in Washington, so people will think that dollars that they send to Washington are being reasonably well spent. And so,
but how do you separate yourself from? How do you say, yeah, people have lost faith and trust in the government, but you've been in the government for a number of years?
Yeah, and I've never asked for nor received a single pork barrel project from my state. I've saved the taxpayers $6 billion on an Air Force tanker deal. The Appropriation Committee chairman calls me the sheriff. I have fought with others, and we have succeeded. But if I could do that and by the way, ask Jack Abramoff, who is one of the lobbyists that's now residing in prison, if I'm effective, since I led the investigation against him. If I can do that as a senator, I think I can do a whole lot more as President of the United States, Paul.
Senator, people, you can. Thanks for adding the W. You narrowly escaped death during the 1967 Forrestal fire. A lot of people don't remember that. They remember that on your 23rd bombing mission over North Vietnam in '67, shot down, badly injured, 5.5 years as a prisoner of war. They may not know that your grandfather was an admiral, and so was your father in the United States Navy. You, of course, attended the Naval Academy. Your father and grandfather, the first father-son to achieve 4-star admiral rank, was it a lot of pressure on you and difficult for you not to continue in the Navy and not to go and follow in your grandfather and father's footsteps?
Yes, and by the way, I have a son at the Naval Academy now that I'm very proud of.
And don't you have a son or daughter in Iraq that you never talk about?
We never talk about it. We never talk, if you don't mind. I'm sure you appreciate and understand that. But the one at the Naval Academy, I was very worried about for a while because he had no demerits, and that it was not in the tradition of his father, I can tell you.
All right. Listen, I'm not going to press on that other issue. I respect you too much in our relationship, and I'm glad your son so far hasn't gotten any demerits. Nice talking with you. Enjoy your visit in Michigan, and safe travel, and I'm sure we'll be talking several more times.
I look forward to being with you again, Paul W., and thanks for the great job you've done for a number of years that I've had the opportunity to be on your show.
Senator John McCain here on the Paul W. Smith Show at WJR at 824.